Today, we are going to talk about something unholy, something so despicable. Any DBD player will instantly shudder when I mention its existence, and that is camping and tunneling. Camping is when a killer hooks a survivor and then refuses to leave the hook. They just sit there, set up a campfire, and just watch the survivor slowly die. And most killers can get away with this because their powers may allow them to down multiple people at once, making saving virtually impossible. There are other forms of camping that might be harder to spot, like proxy camping, which is short for proximity camping, which means the killer isn't standing right in front of you but is patrolling the area surrounding the hook, still making any saves pretty tough to do. This is the form of camping that most killers like to do because it allows them to do more than just sit there and wait for the survivor to die. Then there's tunneling. Tunneling is when a killer will target a specific survivor and only go after them and will make sure that they will die no matter what. So if you get hooked and then you're unhooked and then the killer is instantly back on you, you are being tunneled. That means it's the killer's sole purpose to make sure that you die and get out of the game no matter what. Camping and tunneling are kind of grouped together because they are both extremely unfun playstyles and are extremely annoying. Perks like borrowed time and off the record are meant to make tunneling less effective, and perks like what's the new one? Kinship are meant to help with camping. But with this new patch being mainly killer sided, a lot of killers have kind of felt the need to camp and tunnel since there isn't really anything survivors can do to stop it. Perks like Decisive Strike are awful now, nobody runs kinship, and with the extra cooldown speed buff and the distance nerf, killers can tunnel better than they ever could. So naturally this has sparked a giant debate in the community, and now people are arguing what should be done about camping and tunneling. Killers say that it's a viable strategy and nothing should be done to it because survivors are just being salty, and survivors are saying it's unfun, it's not fair, and behavior should fix it. To be honest, here's the thing. I'm a survivor main, but I see things through both perspectives. From a survivor, I can say camping and tunneling are not fun at all. Why do you think for the longest time solo queue builds have been anti-tunneling and camping builds, like Kindred and DS? As far as camping goes, there's not really a whole lot we can do about it. You can try and outsmart the killer by doing the whole like unhooking and then letting go and then getting hit and then unhooking, but killers are slowly starting to understand how that works and are starting to catch survivors off guard. And against certain killers like Leatherface, there is absolutely nothing you can do against the camping Leatherface. You will die unless you are literally hacking. I have never seen someone outlive a camping Leatherface unless the Leatherface was just extremely bad and chose to M1 instead. Overall, what should behavior do to address camping and tunneling? Should they buff Survivor again, give them a longer base kit endurance effect? I really don't know, because there's not really much you can do to counter these playstyles without fundamentally changing how the game works. And you've already kind of did that to address certain playstyles. The Survivor base kit endurance and haste is really insane when you think about it, and it really does change how games play from now on. It's not so much you should attempt to just get rid of tunneling altogether, but it's more you should, persuade them not to tunnel, because at the end of the day, tunneling is a playstyle. Tunneling is a strategy. There is a reason people tunnel. So it's a matter of persuading killers not to tunnel, and that can be as simple as making it so that a killer loses points if he tunnels. There's already a thing where you lose points if you camp, so do the same thing with tunneling. People care more about blood points than you think, so making it so that the game actually takes away points if you tunnel, you'll be surprised how many people start to not tunnel. And I know that that's such a minuscule change and people want something extremely drastic, but again, there's nothing drastic you can do that won't change how the entire game will play. As far as the patch itself, a few changes that I would make. Personally, I would kind of rebuff DS. I believe it was 5 seconds before, now it's 3 seconds. I just make that 4 seconds because as it stands right now, it is completely useless. Either completely rework Dead Hard or just keep it how it is. People are still finding uses for it, but I really don't think that they needed to nerf Iron Will. I really don't think they needed to nerf Spine Chill. As far as gen speeds, they take 10 extra seconds to do now. I would honestly nerf that. I'd make it maybe 7 seconds, maybe even 8. I don't know. Gens take way too long now, and you are dragging out the least interesting aspect about your game. I don't like it. I don't